it's quiet, and it's peaceful. Fresh air. No pollution, no smog. I parked my car today for free. No parking attendant, no parking meter. I must live in the suburbs. How great! It is so much better than living in the cities such as Philadelphia or New York. Why do you ask? I'll tell you why. 3 reasons. Cost of living, the services that the suburbs have to offer, and my last favorite, crime and safety. So let's touch upon the first one, which is the cost of living. Who here pays taxes? I'm surprised I didn't hear like, oh. Who here ever heard of city wage taxes? So if you live in a city, in the 2012 census, they paid 4% in Philadelphia. 4% city wage tax on top of everything else that you pay. So to put that into perspective, imagine that you're on your company's 401k plan. You make $50,000 a year and you save for 20 years. You know how much money that is in 20 years? $205,000. $205,000. Living in the city, is that so glamorous now? I don't think so. So what's next? What about the housing? You get such a small piece of housing when you live in a city, especially if you want to live in a really nice parts such as Rittenhouse Square, Society, Hill, or even Old City. Those places are so small. You get barely any living space, no bang for your buck, so why do it? No privacy whatsoever. But you live in the suburbs, you get a huge place. You get so much more privacy. You get a room for each child if you have a small family. 10 kids, Octomom may not be able to do it so. But you do get so much more bang for your buck there. And better yet, it's green. There's trees. Kids can play around a lot more there. What's the better choice? I had a buddy who lived in New York City. He lived in Manhattan. He lived in a 2-bedroom apartment, so they called it, and it was $2,500 in rent. And I kid you not, the bathroom was the size from here to here, and I could take a shower and brush my teeth over the sink at the same time. Just imagine that, the glamour of the city. A lot of city dwellers always boast about the transportation, public transportation, we don't need cars, and so on. You know what? We have transportation too in the suburbs. Trains, regional rail, taxis, pick up a phone and call. Buses, we have SEPTA buses run all over the place. So we're not far off from what the city has to offer. Let's talk about the services. Let's talk about the schools. I love talking about the schools. You know what the graduation rate for freshmen in the city are? 50%. 50. The graduation rate of those in the suburbs is 71% nationally. 21% better than those in the city. That's a staggering number. What about shopping? They boast about their shopping. 8th and Walnut, the Jewelry Row, you have all these stores and restaurants in every single corner and street. Sure. But what about us? We have something called the King of Prussia Mall. The biggest mall in the U.S. on the East Coast. Over 400 restaurants and stores. And it is indoors. How nice is that? How about noise? Noise, pollution. How about the fact that when you're trying to go to bed and you hear honking on the horns outside? What about that? How about if you had a child and you're trying to put it to sleep, and next thing you know, you hear a jackhammer outside. What is that coming from? You look outside the window and you see 3 letters on a truck that said PGW. Pretty much tearing up the side wall. And I know that because I witnessed it. Noise. Third thing I want to talk about, crime. In 2010, what I'm going to do is provide you analysis of Philadelphia compared to suburbs. Philadelphia has 40% more burglaries than the suburbs. Philadelphia has 80% more motor thefts than Philadelphia. Philadelphia has 40% more larceny than the suburbs. That's just the property crime. What about the violent crimes? Philadelphia has 78% more rapes than the suburbs, 87% more robberies than the suburbs, and a staggering 90% more murders, 90% more murders than the suburbs. Is that where you want is that where you want to live? Is that where you want your family to live? Is that where you want your child to be? So in conclusion, living in the suburbs, the cost of living, you get a bigger bang for your buck, green pastures. The housing market and the services, think about all the schools, the great schools you can attend to, the shopping that we have available here. And third of all, think about the crime that you have and the safety of your family. The choice is clear with me. I prefer to live in the city for myself, for my family, and for my future kids. Thank you.